Hey guys, here's a quick video from my trip to Oshkosh 22 this year. It's been a month ago. It feels like it's a year ago at this point. Maybe it feels the same for you too. This is Monday morning when they were pushing back the RV-15, and everyone was focused on the RV-15. I was focused on the RV-15. But there was another plane there at the Vans booth that was equally as interesting to me, and that was the factory demonstrator RV-12. Let me pull that one up. Here it is. You've seen this before. This has been the factory demonstrator for some time now. Orange and black paint scheme. The paint scheme itself is pretty standard. I think all of the factory planes come with this scheme, just different colors. And last year, along with this year, I did a review of paint schemes on RV-12s. And you can find that in my video history if you take a look there. But what I didn't show you was inside the cockpit of 912VA. And although it was pretty standard, no new avionics or anything, there was something that caught my attention. Let me pull that up right now.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that? What's that dang thing doing here? How did that get here? What the hell is that?
Well, I hope you enjoyed Steve there. So what are we looking at here? If you're an RV-12 builder, you know exactly what this is. This is a temperature probe. Standalone, could be hooked up to a G3X or a Dynon. We don't know. My guess is it's probably standalone. And it's right in front of the heat vent on the pilot side. Now, the only reason why the factory would be doing this is because they're testing something. And so what do? We take a look to see what they're testing. And that doesn't look standard. That's a new heat muff. I haven't seen that before. So what are we looking at here? Let's pause the video and take a real detailed look here. So this is a new design. It looks like it's made out of all aluminum. The material that actually contacts the muffler might be steel. It's really hard to tell. It does look like it has a different kind of color to it. The original design was something that wrapped around the muffler itself. It composed of three main pieces. One was a piece of sheet metal that wrapped around the center of the muffler, and it was held in place by a hose clamp. Then you had these two rings around the outside, center outside-ish of the muffler. And then on top of that, you had the actual shroud itself, a piece of round aluminum, and the air would go in through the bottom vent around the shroud and out that top T vent there that you see in the lower right-hand diagram there. This design was a little wonky and janky because it was really just all held together by hose clamps. And if you can imagine, during engine startup, engine shutdown, there's some vibration going on. And also with the constant heating and cooling cycles of the muffler, I can definitely see some stress being put on these hose clamps to maybe loosen them up over time. And that's exactly what happened to me. There's a couple times I went to go fly. During my pre-flight, I caught this, luckily. The hose clamps had come off the assembly itself completely, and it turns out that one of my buddies alerted me to the fact that these plans were actually updated after I built my RV-12iS. My serial number was 121055. So if you have a serial number around that range, one of the early RV-12iS customers, yeah, you might want to look to see if you have these flutes applied to the circumference of the shroud. These are basically just put in place to hold those hose clamps in place so they don't slide off of the shroud itself. This is really easy to do if you don't already have these flutes on your shroud. Probably even if you're a pilot only and you didn't do the building, you probably could accomplish this. You just need those fluting pliers that you see in the upper left corner there. Now going back over to the newer design, this doesn't look janky. This looks pretty stout. It looks like a pretty solid, durable design. Time will tell. I'm sure the factory has done their due diligence and all of their testing this past winter. Now the question that I have is whether or not the testing was completed over the winter and it was approved, and now they're just writing the documentation for it. This would probably come out in like a service letter. I don't think this would be a mandatory upgrade. I could see this being optional, but I think it would be well worth it. My guess is just the parts alone that I see here, probably $100 or so, and that's mainly due to the welding that has to happen at the factory for those vent pipes that you see there. Yeah, so this might have been approved, or maybe they didn't like what they saw as far as the heat delivered from this, or who knows what, and maybe they're waiting for next winter to test out a newer design. But time will tell. However, if you do live in a northern climate like Canada or something, this is something that you want to keep an eye on. Maybe there's some hope for you for maybe some heat muff with more output. We don't know. But based on these rivet patterns I see here, I can almost visualize the baffles that are inside this shroud to make the air kind of zigzag its way as it goes around the whole circumference of this heat muff. So we'll see. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you give that subscribe button down below, a little tappy tap action. Do not smash it on your phone because you will break your phone. And until next time.